Varnishing is really important, but unfortunately it's often misunderstood. A lot of times people do not know how to correctly apply varnish to a final painting, and a lot of times they don't know why they should. And here's a few of the reasons why you should. It's going to help protect from dirt, dust, and abrasion, so you have a painting that looks good for a long time. And also, acrylic paintings tend to have a little bit of a surface tack to them. That tackiness can attract dirt and dust, so by applying a layer of varnish on top, it's going to help reduce that. And I would strongly suggest that you take a panel like I have here and test. Practice varnishing first. Don't varnish on the thing that you have spent so long on, that you care about, and you've invested time in, and then make a mistake that totally ruins it. I feel like you take so much time, that last stage, that varnishing stage, is so important, and again, misunderstood. So let's do this. Liquitex has a variety of varnishes. We've got permanent ones and we have removable ones over here. I'm going to use a removable one right now. Solubar, which is a solvent-based varnish. It can be used on an oil or an acrylic surface because I can remove it with mineral spirits or turpentine. And I'm using a synthetic brush here. Synthetic brushes are good for varnishing, really important for varnishing because they're soft. And I don't want to have brush marks in that layer. I want this nice uniform layer on top. So use a synthetic soft brush. This is a Liquitex Freestyle brush, and again, very, very soft. And I'm going to dip, again, my brush in the varnish here. Just wipe the edge, get excess off. And I want to varnish on a flat surface like this and gently pull it across and just back into it like that one time. That's all I need to do. And then come back again, get a little more on there, and just overlap. Now, I say do this on a flat surface because you don't want anything to drip or drizzle down the surface there. Again, you want it to be nice and uniform. It's a good idea to look at it from a sort of a raking light so that you can see if you've missed anything. And again, come across here and just gently pull across and back and overlap. Now, here's a common problem that happens. People get into the painting and the varnishing of the painting, and they notice that they've missed the spot when they get to the other side of the painting. I would highly suggest that what you do is do not come back and touch that. Resist the urge, because the varnish will start to set up pretty quickly, and if you come back into that and you drag the brush through that semi-dried area of varnish, you're going to mar the surface. So be careful of doing that. Also, if you're using a matte varnishes have a matting agent in them, so they need to be stirred up gently to make sure that matting agent is dispersed. So don't shake the varnish, just stir gently. By shaking it, you introduce bubbles to it. You don't want to do that because then the bubbles will be in your paint film too, and again, you won't have that uniform surface. The idea of varnishing, aside from the dust, dirt, and abrasion and all that, is to unify the sheen of the painting. So that way, when you go through your actual painting process, and some areas may look a little bit more shiny than others due to pigment characteristics, you'll be able to uniformly control that sheen. I would let this dry overnight, and then I would come back and I would do a second application in the opposite direction. That'll solve any of those little spots you may have missed, and you'll have a really good painting that looks good and lasts for a long time. Varnishing is really important, but unfortunately it's often misunderstood. A lot of times people do not know how to correctly apply varnish to a final painting, and a lot of times they don't know why they should. And here's